Your last name is not just the label on your passport, it is a blood code. And if that name is Irish, it is proof that your ancestors survived one of the darkest chapters in human history. Between 1845 and 1852, the Great Famine killed 1 million people and forced 2 million more to flee Ireland. Entire family lines were erased, villages emptied, the surnames that made it to the other side, whether to Boston, New York, Liverpool, or Melbourne, carry the DNA of clans who refused to die. Some of these names were banned by English law. Others were stripped at Ellis Island. A few survived intact from the Age of Kings. Today we are decoding 10 Irish surnames, from number 10 down to number 1, the most common Irish surname in the world, and the one that hides a direct line to the last High King of Ireland. If your surname appears in this countdown, or if someone in your family carries it, there is a strong chance your bloodline survived when millions did not. And at the end, I will give you a key to research your own. But first, we need to understand what these names actually encode. Irish surnames fall into 3 bloodlines: Gaelic clans who ruled Ireland for 1,000 years, Norman invaders who arrived in 1170 and carved out new kingdoms, and Viking settlers who founded Dublin and Waterford centuries before that. The prefix O' means grandson of. Mac means son of. Both were banned under English penal law in the 17th century. Families who kept them were marking themselves as resistors. Now let us decode the 10. Number 10, Ryan. From the Irish O Rian, meaning grandson of Rian. The root word ri means king. This is a Gaelic surname from County Tipperary, and it marks descent from the kings of Ido, a small kingdom in what is now Central Ireland. By the time of the famine, Ryan was scattered across Munster, the southern province. In 1847, the worst year of starvation, the port of Cork saw 30,000 emigrants leave in a single season. A disproportionate number were Ryans. If you carry this name, your ancestors were likely tenant farmers who fled west to Liverpool or Boston. The ones who stayed often did not survive. The surname persisted because enough Ryans made it to America and rebuilt. Number 9. Walsh. This is not a Gaelic name. Walsh comes from the Middle English word Walsha, meaning foreigner or Welshman. It marks Norman Welsh invaders who arrived in Ireland after 1170 with Strongbow, the Earl of Pembroke. The Normans conquered Leinster and forced the Gaelic clans west. By the 13th century, the Walsh family controlled vast estates in counties Kilkenny and Wexford. But over generations, the Normans became more Irish than the Irish themselves. They adopted Gaelic law, married into Irish clans, and resisted English rule. During the famine, Walsh tenant farmers in Leinster were evicted en masse. Thousands sailed from Wexford to Quebec and New York. If your name is Walsh, your blood is Norman conquest mixed with Gaelic rebellion. Number 8. Kennedy. From the Irish O Canadig, meaning grandson of Canadig. The root can means head, and adig means ugly or wounded. Literally, ugly head. This is a surname that survived trauma. The Kennedys were a Gaelic clan from County Tipperary and County Clare in Munster. They were warriors. By the 17th century, the penal laws stripped Catholic landowners of their estates. The Kennedys who remained in Ireland were reduced to tenant farmers. Then came the famine. In 1848, a Kennedy family from Dunganstown in County Wexford sent their son Patrick to America on a coffin ship. He arrived in Boston with nothing. His great-grandson became the 35th President of the United States. If you are a Kennedy, your ancestors survived by leaving everything behind. Number 7. Kelly. From the Irish O'Callagh, meaning grandson of Cailleach. The name Cailleach means bright-headed or church, depending on the root. This is one of the most widespread Irish surnames, and it has 3 distinct origins. The Kellys of UC Main in County Galway, the Kellys of Breifne in County Cavan, and the Kellys of Derry in Ulster. These were separate clans who never united. During the famine, County Galway was one of the hardest hit regions. Entire townlands were emptied. The Kellys who survived emigrated in waves to New York, Philadelphia, and Melbourne. By 1900, Kelly had become the second most common surname in Ireland and one of the top 10 in America. If your name is Kelly, your blood comes from at least 3 unrelated royal lines. Number 6. Byrne. From the Irish O'Broin, meaning grandson of Bran. The word Bran means raven. This is a Leinster surname, and the Byrnes were one of the most powerful Gaelic clans in Ireland. They controlled the Wicklow Mountains south of Dublin and resisted English conquest for 4 centuries. In 1580, the English crown declared the Burns rebels. Their lands were confiscated. By the famine era, most Burns were landless laborers in counties Wicklow and Wexford. In 1849, the British government enacted the quarter-acre clause, which denied famine relief to anyone holding more than a quarter-acre of land. Families were forced to surrender their plots to receive food. Thousands of Burns emigrated rather than starve. If you carry this name, your ancestors were mountain warriors who became refugees. Number 5. O'Sullivan. From the Irish O'Sullivan, meaning grandson of Sullivan. The root Sul means eye, and Dove means dark, dark-eyed one. This is a Munster surname from County Cork and County Kerry, and the O'Sullivans were one of the 3 great families of Desmond. In 1602, after the Battle of Kinsale, the O'Sullivans were defeated by English forces. Their leader, Donald Cam O'Sullivan Bear, led a march of 1,000 followers from Cork to Leitrim in the dead of winter. Only 35 survived. The clan never recovered its lands. By the famine, O'Sullivans were tenant farmers in the poorest regions of Munster. Tens of thousands emigrated to Boston, where the surname became one of the most common Irish names in Massachusetts. If you are an O'Sullivan, your ancestors walked through snow and starvation twice. Number 4. O'Connor. From the Irish O'Conchobhair, meaning grandson of Conchobar. The name Conchobar means lover of hounds or wolf lover. This is the royal surname of the last High Kings of Ireland. The O'Connors ruled Connacht for centuries and produced 2 High Kings who held power over all Ireland, Tordelbach Ua Conchobar and his son Ruaidrí Ua Conchobar, the last undisputed High King before the Norman invasion. By the 17th century, the O'Connors had lost their kingdom. By the famine, they were scattered across Connacht as laborers and small farmers. In 1847, Roscommon and Galway, O'Connor heartlands, saw mass evictions. If your name is O'Connor, your blood descends from the last kings of a unified Ireland, and your ancestors survived the fall of that kingdom twice. Number 3. Doyle. From the Irish O'Dubhail, meaning grandson of Dubhall, the name breaks into Dub, meaning dark, and Gaul, meaning foreigner. Literally, dark foreigner. This is a Viking surname. The Doyles descend from Norse settlers who arrived in Ireland in the 9th century and founded Dublin, Waterford, and Wexford. They were called the Dark Foreigners, to distinguish them from the fair-haired Norwegians who came later. By the 12th century, the Dublin Doyles had intermarried with Gaelic clans and adopted Irish language and law. During the famine, Doyle was concentrated in Leinster, especially County Wexford. Thousands emigrated through the port of Wexford to Liverpool and beyond. If your name is Doyle, your blood is Viking, and your ancestors survived the longest integration in Irish history. Number 2. O'Brien. From the Irish O'Brien, meaning grandson of Brian, the name Brian may derive from the Celtic word for hill or high. This is the surname of the most famous king in Irish history, Brian Boru, High King of Ireland, who defeated the Vikings at the Battle of Clontarf in 1014 and died in his tent after the victory. The O'Briens ruled Thomond, the kingdom of North Munster, for 5 centuries. By the 17th century, English conquest had stripped them of their lands. By the famine, O'Briens were tenant farmers in counties Clare, Limerick, and Tipperary, some of the poorest and most overcrowded regions in Ireland. In 1848, Clare saw mass deaths and emigration. Tens of thousands of O'Briens left for America, Canada, and Australia. If your name is O'Brien, your ancestors descend from the man who saved Ireland from the Vikings, and they survived the collapse of his kingdom. And now, number 1, Murphy. From the Irish O'Murchada, meaning grandson of Murchad. The name Murchad combines Muir, meaning sea, and Cath, meaning battle, sea warrior. This is the most common surname in Ireland, and it has been for centuries. The Murphys were a Gaelic clan from County Wexford in Leinster, and they held power as lords of the territory of Uig Caincheleg. But by the 17th century, they had lost everything. By the famine, Murphy was the most common surname among landless laborers and cottiers, the poorest class in Ireland. In 1847 alone, over 100,000 Irish people named Murphy emigrated. They went to Liverpool, Glasgow, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and Melbourne. Today, Murphy is the most common Irish surname in Ireland, the United States, and Australia. If your name is Murphy, your ancestors were sea warriors who became the face of survival itself. The Murphys were everywhere because they survived everywhere. They survived the Norman conquest, they survived the Tudor plantations, they survived the penal laws, they survived Cromwell. And when the famine came, they survived that too, not by staying, but by scattering to every corner of the English-speaking world. By 1900, Murphy was so common in New York that it became shorthand for Irish identity itself. Today, there are more people named Murphy outside Ireland than inside it. The surname did not survive because it was royal or noble. It survived because it was everywhere, and because the people who carried it refused to disappear. These 10 surnames encode 3 invasions, 5 centuries of conquest, and 1 genocide. But they all share one thing: they made it. The families who carried them survived when millions did not. Some kept the O apostrophe and the Mac as acts of defiance. Others dropped them to pass unnoticed. Some emigrated and never returned. Others stayed and rebuilt on the ashes. Every Irish surname that exists today is proof of a choice someone made under unimaginable pressure: to survive, to leave, to remember, or to forget. Your surname is not just a name, it is the scar tissue of history. And if it is Irish, it is the proof that your blood survived the famine. Now here is what you can do. If your surname did not appear in this list, or if you want to know more about the one that did, there is a simple way to research it. Start with the prefix. If your surname begins with O apostrophe or Mac, you are Gaelic. If it ends in Tun or Ford, you are likely Anglo-Norman or English. If it sounds foreign but you know your family is Irish, check for Norman or Viking roots. Then search the Irish surname database at the National Library of Ireland, or use the free genealogy tools at Irish Genealogy, IA. Both will tell you the county of origin, the meaning, and the historical clan. And if you find a connection, trace it. Because your surname is not just a label, it is a thread that runs back through every generation that survived long enough to pass it on. If discovering what your surname hides fascinates you, subscribe. Every week we decode the surnames of a new region, and next time, your name might be number 1. But before you go, I want you to think about this. The Great Famine was not a natural disaster. It was a political choice. Ireland was producing enough food to feed its population, but almost all of it was exported to England under armed guard, while 1 million people starved. The roads were lined with bodies, entire villages were emptied, and yet the survivors did not just survive. They scattered across the world and rebuilt entire communities from nothing. Today, there are more people of Irish descent living outside Ireland than inside it. 70 million people worldwide claim Irish ancestry. Your surname is part of that. Your surname is not just the label on your passport. It is the fingerprint of the decisions, the wars, the loves, and the betrayals of people you never met, but who made you. If your name is Murphy, you carry the blood of sea warriors who became the face of survival. If your name is O'Brien, you descend from a king who died defeating Vikings. If your name is Walsh, you carry Norman conquest and Gaelic rebellion in the same blood. And if your name is Ryan or Kennedy or Byrne, you carry the proof that your family survived when entire clans were erased. The famine tried to break Ireland. It did not. Your surname is the proof. Drop your surname in the comments, and I will tell you what it hides. If your name appeared in this list, tell me which number it was. If it did not, write it below. In the next video, it might be number 1.